Dynamic.
Challenging.
I guess a roller coaster would be the visual representation.
Chaotic.
Just pumped up all the time.
Also kind of fun.
Enjoyable.
Humbling.
Caring.
Joyous.
It's definitely a community.
Just family.
And it really goes beyond isolation. We've been able to address housing, mental health, stabilization on medication, even just a place to rest.
And some of the clients were telling us about how safe they feel when they are here.
Often clients will leave us little notes or drawings, pictures that they make during their time here that just say like, thank you, I was able to detox for the first time in my life, or like, thank you for helping to set me up with housing as I'm leaving here, or thank you for just making me feel heard and understood.
They're so thankful for just having somebody to listen to them and to understand them and what they're going through.
I feel like we fill a really niche aspect in what's being offered out there right now, in that we're saving the system dollars by not having people hospitalized, but we're also relieving stress from the shelter system by managing some more intense medical needs or withdrawal needs in the community.
And I've been inspired by just some of the amount of collaboration and teamwork that goes on here at the ACES, both with staff and even the clients that we support.
We've seen such great teamwork between Alberta Health Services, Calgary Homeless Foundation, the Ministry of Community and Social Services, with the City of Calgary. I don't know if I've ever experienced that level of collaboration from the top down, from the funders to management to frontline staff.
Everybody's at the same level. Nobody's better than anybody here. The doctors are amazing. The nurses, the registered nurses, the LPNs, the FSWs, the CSWs, like.
There's, as a collective here at ACES, there's such a strong understanding that the line between patient and provider is like razor thin. There is almost no difference other than the support that each of us had in our lives when we were at our lowest moments.
It's just one of those things where it's like, their story could be you.
Because I have this particular client who really inspired me when he told me about the support and love that he got here at the ACES has helped him want to reconnect with his son who is 12 years old, has made him reflect on his role as a father.
I guess the lesson is to just keep treating everyone with kindness, and you never really know what someone's going through.
I have learned that people as a community can come together and reach out to those who are really in need.
Just to really realize that like everyone is people, everyone has a story, and I think COVID has definitely affected so many people in such a negative way, but to kind of experience this without a home to self-isolate in would be extra rough.
Every single person that comes here is a family member, is a friend, is somebody that deserves to be cared for and supported and safe and all of those things.
I love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else besides being here right now.
It's changed my life. It's awesome.
We all look forward to when we can wrap up this version of ACES and there's no need for isolation anymore. We get to celebrate the ending as well as the beginning.
Happy birthday, ACES!
Happy birthday, ACES! Happy birthday!
My name's Monica. I'm 25. I was born and raised in Calgary, and I've been coming to the Alex for about 7 years. I was about 18, 19 years old. I was going to school to upgrade because I didn't do well in high school. And at the time I was living with my mother, and my mother and I have never gotten along. I was really depressed at the time. I was self-harming like crazy. I was doing drugs. I was using like ecstasy, smoking weed, and like I was using that to cope at the time. And I was only working like a couple shifts a week, and I couldn't handle a large workload. And so my mom was like, you have to start paying rent. And she ended up kicking me out. And I was too afraid to go back to my dad and explain like my mother and I had another falling out. And it's like I was scared of like almost admitting defeat. That's what brought me to the Alex. Actually, I was self-harming, and I was telling my counselor at school. I didn't tell him I got kicked out, but I told him that I was really depressed and like dealing with suicidal thoughts. And he's like, there's this place called the Alex, you should go one day. And I got up the courage one day to go to the Alex, and I had no clue who to talk to or who to go to, or like, I was on the verge of tears because I was so scared and like, just being anxious to ask for help because I was scared of being judged. I have BPD, borderline personality disorder. Like, this is something I'm gonna be battling with the rest of my life. You have to have help readily available when you need it. My psychiatrist and I call them little blips on the radar when I like start to fall down like the rabbit hole. And if my counselor's not readily available, I have to go to the hospital. I was coping, and like I was just getting through my day to day, and like now it almost feels like I have a purpose now. Like I'm going to school, I have a cat to take care of, and like I'd like to say I'm coping very well. I still have times where I almost fall down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I'm going to school. I start in September. I was hoping to do something like along the lines of like case law, or I was hoping to maybe work at the Alex. If I was able to work here, it would be kind of like, because they gave to me, I want to give back to them. Aiden's like, you're such a leader. I'm like, I don't see myself as a leader. And like, Aiden's like, the other kids look up to you. I'm like, really? I do think I'd say I'm proud of like how far I've come, because like compared to where I was, like I haven't self-harmed in months. I'd say almost maybe close to a year. My counselor told me to like still like pat yourself on the back if it's been a week, if it's been a day, if it's been a month. The first time when I walked through the Alex, the first person that greeted me with such a smile that I will never forget. And the warmth the staff give you, they're not just doing their job. They know that the people that walk through these doors have some type of like story or like problem or issue they are going through. They don't look at you like another statistic. They look at you as like as a human being.
So the New Roots Immigrant Project is a pilot project we are taking on here at the Alex Community Food Center as a way to explore the unique ways immigrants are experiencing food insecurity. Starting with the Latin American communities, then it was the Vietnamese and Chinese communities. We then worked with the Filipino and the Middle Eastern communities, and then this upcoming weekend we're working with East African communities. we are very much value here at the Alex is that piece around dignity. And so we created culture advisor groups for each of the different cultural groups that we're focusing on so that they can share feedback on the different types of produce we use. Something that's also unique at our markets that we do is offer a free meal to go. And so we worked with those cultural groups to say what would be a culturally relevant meal for each of those targeted markets, and actually involving community members themselves to even help us make those meals.
Whenever I engage with the community to prepare a meal, my first thing is that I try to have the participants talk about their experiences, and I will learn more from them.
We often say, and I try to say it a lot, I'm like, this is not our space, it's your space. These were all things that we chose to include as a way to make sure that we are leading with community. One of our Latin volunteers shared about how food is actually comfort and safety, because remembering and eating food that's something that they ate as a child or that is recognizable to them, it gives them a level of comfort that's often missing from their experience being here as immigrants and low-income immigrants in Canada. And so creating more spaces that considers their cultural backgrounds really does add that level of safety, a level of comfort. There's been so many different connections. We've seen families who just came in not knowing and not ever been into our space before, really excited about what else we're doing and have signed up for programming, taking part of the Stretch and Stroll with our dietitian, Gina here, joining some of the regular programming like Dads in the Kitchen or our gardening program. That's been what's wonderful, is that we're seeing people who we haven't seen before really feel valued and happy and engaged in our space.
I think we should encourage to have more of these programs, because a lot of the community members who move, especially newcomers, refugees, they have a lot of fear or they can't open up. And I think when they come along here, where everyone is having an access to a meal and they see, oh, everyone is so carefree, they get a chance to open up, and they had their own stories to tell, because they carry a lot of talent with them. We need that.
Good morning. My name is Joy Bonaire. I am the CEO at the Alex, and I'm so proud to stand alongside.
My name is Megan van Bogason. I am Anishinaabe from Treaty 1 territory in Peguis Reserve, Manitoba. I'm also Sami Fin, settled in Treaty 6 territory out by Sylvan Lake.
Megan has been instrumental in trying to help us address the calls to truth and reconciliation, specifically on how it applies to the Alex. And I think part of that is having a specific Indigenous health strategy. And so, we know that 40% of the folks that we work alongside in our housing programs are Indigenous, and about 30% of our kiddos in our youth programs. And so we need to look at health in the way Indigenous folks access health. We have made a commitment to the calls for truth and reconciliation, and our board is alongside us and recognizes the importance. We also have an Indigenous board member on our board, David Bach. If you listen to this, we think the world of you here at the Alex. We knew that we needed to, as part of our journey, is to make our space at the Alex more welcoming for Indigenous people and for all people. And so we were really blessed. A year and a half ago, we did a pitch night to the Calgary Foundation, and the Alex won the pitch night, and we received some money to create a space that was warm, that was welcoming, and that had an Indigenous lens to it.
The work is exciting. I think we're moving forward. Also the excitement of, working on the Indigenous gathering space and doing that in a good way. Having an elder come in and do a naming ceremony with us, and making it where people can come and access smudging, eventually programming, ceremony, elders, and just making it more of a community space where we can kind of grow.
And the best part about the room and the space that's been chosen, it's really the central point of the whole entire Alex main site. And so when people walk into the community health center, they'll see the space that we've created. And then we need to go further than that space, because it's not just about one room.
No.
So we know that we have a long journey ahead, and so there's much listening and learning that we need to do as an organization. And part of that journey started when we asked Megan to help us out by setting up some elder talking circles. Megan, if you can kind of talk about the circles that we've had to date, and then what's going to happen because this is just one step and just one small piece of what we have been doing.
Yeah, so far we've had 2 virtual talking circles with a total of 10 elders. We've had elders from Satina, Ikani, Gaina, from the Red River Settlement, and all over, trying to have a diversity of knowledge and sharing, which we've been very grateful to have. And through those consults, we'll take that information and the learning that the elders have given us to implement some of the faith, maybe staff development, programming, policy planning in terms of how we can ingrain Indigenous ways of knowing into the Alex as a whole.